Hey everyone, how you doing? My name's Josh. I'm the CEO of MyDanceLocker.com. I'm here with my son Kyle, who helps me run the company. Today we're going to talk a little bit about business and our business specifically, just kind of give people a little bit of insight of who we are and how we do things. I'm going to have Kyle lead the rest of the conversation from here on out so we can kind of get into things a little bit.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We've been talking about doing this podcast for a little while now, and so we finally put the bootstraps on. We're getting started. Yeah, so I have a lot of frequently asked questions here that we get asked a lot when people come to do business with us. So I figured we could touch on them, help explain who we are to you guys. And yeah, like you said, this is a good business podcast to listen to. That's our goal here, just to help out people, let them know who we are. That's really our end goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it, man.
All right. So the first question that we get asked a lot is just simply like, what do we do as a business? What's our business?
Well, our business model started as we wanted to find a way to empower small businesses, right? Corporate America is really tough to navigate, especially if you're a small business. So we came up with a way to work with small businesses. For example, our main niche right now is dance studios. We build stores for them online on our platform. We don't charge them anything for it. It's a full store, like a whole bunch of different items and things like that. Everything from like logo gear on t-shirts to accessories and stuff like, things of that nature. So then their students can go on and buy and they get a percentage of the sale. The idea is they get to eliminate all the bulk orders, all the stuff that's really time consuming, really frustrating. It's really, really overwhelming for dance studio. They're small business owners. They're also, which makes them owner operators, right? And it really mitigates the amount of time you have available. So this solves a problem for them. For dance studios specifically, most dance studios, they have to offer merchandise. Their students want it. And if they don't get it, then they'll just go somewhere else that does offer it. It's a huge headache and they don't really make any money. This makes it so they get to solve that problem and they get to make money. And instead of doing 2 bulk orders a year, that's a giant headache. Their stores are up year round and they don't have to pay anything ever. And then every month they get a commission check for 15% of all the sales, full reporting, whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and like you said, yeah, that's exactly what we do. I mean, we help out, we help out, give them anything to help them reduce stress with this whole section of it. Like you said, they're busy, they have to do everything, and so anything that we can do to help them reduce stress in this specific area is mostly what we do. All right. So our next question is, how does it work? How do we do what we do? What's our magic?
Oh, the magic is me. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, the magic really comes down. I think the magic really starts from the very beginning when we connect. We are looking to partner with businesses. We're not looking for businesses to come and find a way to make themselves fit in our business model, right? We designed our business to mold around small businesses who are pretty inflexible, just if for nothing else, just because of time management, right? So that really was the biggest issue initially, and I think that's really the big draw and attraction initially, and then we treat it like such all the way through. But just to get in the nitty gritty of it, it's a real quick conversation, if that even. I've had people just through email converse with me through email. I mean, you know that. But it's a quick conversation. Send us your logo. There's an agreement between a licensing agreement that you sign, with no time date, no time restrictions or anything like that. And in the end, then we take all that, we build everything. In the end, you give approval, take a look at everything, make sure it's good. We take stuff down, put stuff up, tweak it. It's a pretty fast process as a whole. It's not like weeks or months to get it built and up. We do a lot of other cool things too, like sales and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head there. Yeah, we obviously you're the magic. You're the one that you're the big brain idea guy. But no, I really think that you hit the nail on the head there. Let's see. Okay, so we want to dive in a little bit in our shipping and manufacturing time a little bit there. Give people an idea of how long it takes to really get their products when they order from one of our stores.
oh yeah. Dude, our average shipping time from the day they order to the day they receive is 9 to 12 days. A lot of and we are constantly trying to improve that. I would say in the last 30 to 45 days, a lot of our customers have been getting their packages like 4 or 5 days after they place their order. It's actually pretty crazy. So we're into streamlining things, making things easy and smooth for our clients and for their customers, right? So
I mean, yeah, like no, it's like you said, like even more recently, like people have been getting packages even faster than we have anticipated, which has been awesome.
no, yeah,
Everyone that we've had so far that have ordered very recently has been super excited. And like you said, we're always trying to improve. I mean, that's everything that we're talking about today. We're always trying to improve on and scale up and
yeah,
just keep working on and keep growing.
yeah. Just like constantly dropping new products. We're always looking for the newest, most cutting edge styles and things that kids are really into. We have stuff for moms and dads and and everyone, and we try to make sure we carry the most popular styles and the newer stuff that people are really like. Oh, I gotta have that. So
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So this is more of a personal question, just to to know us a little bit. Why did we start the business? Like, what drew us to wanting to help these small business owners, and more specifically in the dance industry?
well, I mean, well, obviously, you know, I've been a dance parent for 18 years. My daughter's in college for dance. Her sister in college for dance, right? Her whole life she's been a dancer. I was always that dance dad, right? I was there helping my wife put makeup, doing this, doing that, right? I was there every step of the way. Um, and I was a parent volunteer and I understand the issues behind the dance studio. Um, but you couple that with all my business experience and the experience I have running small businesses for other people and running large corporations and developing whole divisions in corporations and running divisions and making them more profitable. I was able to merge those two things together, and really, I was looking to start a business that made a difference, right? I want to make money. That's why we're in business. But at the end of the day, that's last, right? I want to make a difference and I want to build a legacy for my family and for all the people that are involved in this whole situation, from my clients to my family and everyone. I want to build something bigger than me. And I think that this is really, we're on the cusp of major changes in the world right now, right? Like look at AI, just look at AI and everything else, right? So, um, I see this as being like the perfect opportunity to really transition and show the world that small businesses can really give them the information, empower them to really take a step up and take a big step back and say, look at me. I don't need you, Mr. Big Company, where I only get to make a little tiny bit of money with a whole bunch of work and I'm not actually making profit once I take my hours out of it, right? This is designed to make it so that they can actually make real true profit and free up their time so that they could grow their businesses. That's the stuff that's important to me, right? Those kind of things.
Yeah, and it's like you and kind of backtracking a little bit, and you said earlier like we build partnerships. This also ties into us building partnerships with people,
Yeah.
like we're in it for more than just the money. Like we genuinely, the whole reason that we do this is because we knew this was something from our previous experience with dance, that like this is something that everyone really needed to just help out, because they're constantly busy. I mean, and they're
Yeah,
constantly, I mean, there's, like you said, they're small business owners, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, how about let's wrap it up like this. So if you're a small business and that's like a dance studio or karate or this, right? And you want to sell merchandise, baseball, any of that type of stuff. And where you have a group of 50, 30, 50, 100, 200, 500,000 families or students, right? And you want to sell merchandise, you don't need to spend $20,000 and have dedicated space in your store to have merchandise. They could just buy it online. We do free shipping. They could buy it online. It's free shipping, just like Amazon. People are used to Amazon. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to charge people shipping, right? Like I'll figure it out on the back end, which we did. Like all the little things is really where all the difference comes in, because we try to make sure every single person along the way that comes in contact with us or with my dance locker they just know that we care, right? Real simple, right? If we do something and people aren't going to be able to know that, then we just
Mhm.
don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you 100%. So the next question that we get asked a lot, but I feel like this is probably the easiest question that we get asked is just simply how do I sign up? Where do I go to sign up for our services?
Oh yeah, that's super easy. You just go to mydancelocker.com. You can actually you can schedule an appointment right through there as well, right on my calendar on the bottom of the page. Set up a 15-minute meeting with me or with Kyle or with somebody else, and we're more than happy to chat with you. Um, all the meetings get directed to me first because I like to have that personal one-on-one approach. The only time it's not me that's me meeting with you is if I'm unavailable. So, just to touch back on that previous point I was making, right? So we're planning on expanding this to all industries. We actually already started to. Just dance is our biggest one right now. So, any small business that wants to sell merchandise, even if they're not sure, they're like, oh, I want to offer a t-shirt and just see if people like it, right? We could set something like that up. It's really fast and really, really easy. And guess what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't cost you anything. No sweat off your back, right? So, but that being said, we've never had any company do this and it didn't work for them. So everybody loves it. Parents love it. Everyone loves the opportunity to be able to just go online and buy when they want. They don't have to buy, right? Like they don't have to buy during the sale time when kids are going back to school and they have like 85 other expenses. That's overwhelming, right? So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and the nice part about signing up with us, the meetings don't take that long. There's no pressure. Don't we only need a handful of things from you, like we need your logo, and we need to know
no,
if
no,
you like certain colors. It's
hold
very
on.
very stress free.
I want to take a step back to something you just said that you started to say and you stopped. No pressure.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely no pressure. Like I talk to people all the time. If they don't want to do it or they're not interested, that's fine. We're not that kind of sales company. I've been in business and sales for a really long time. I, salespeople feel like they have to take this approach to be pushy and aggressive to get sales and to get people to sign up. It's not necessary, right? So when you interact with us, it's very much a no pressure situation, right? And we designed the business so it just makes sense. So if people don't want to do it, it's just because they don't want to, they're nervous about making change. A lot of people don't like change. A lot of people don't like to, they're scared of technology, right? Um, I run into these issues with studio owners who are, like second generation studio owners and they're getting ready to retire in 5 years. They don't, or a couple of years. They're like, oh, I don't know. And then, but once they understand it a little bit deeper, I take a little more time and explain it to them to make sure they understand it. Then they're like, wow. And I've had people still say no, they're not really interested in making that kind of change because they're getting ready to get out. And I'm like, okay, cool. But they always ask more questions because they're intrigued, right? So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's a really important point I need to think about.
Oh yeah, no, you're totally good. Yeah, I just, yeah, like you said, no pressure. Like we
Yeah.
take things the way that as fast or as slow as you want to take them. Like there's no rush at all. None of the process is really long. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no pressure at all. So the next question that I know you get asked a lot is what special perks do I get with signing up with you opposed to either A, doing it myself, or B, going and having someone else do it.
Okay. So, well, first of all, if you do it yourself, there's a couple of different ways to go about it, but they all cost money and take time, right? Obviously, everyone already knows that, but you know, you could go on to Shopify or any of these website builders and build a website, drag and drop, they say, right? But you need to understand how to make it function properly and easily and make things nice and not spend copious amounts of time trying to do it. Dance studio owners have never done that before. Maybe they could go and do it and make it work. Maybe they can't. But do they want to? Right? Do they want to take the time to learn it? And then you look at someone like us, and then, oh, sorry. Then they have to pay for it as well. You have to pay monthly. You have to pay for there's several different things you have to pay for, and you have to worry about the fees and the this and that. And you got to deal with all the customer service issues. You got to deal with exchanges. You got to deal with returns. You got to deal with, oh, this came in and, occasionally something gets missed in QC. So we rush another one right out to them. It's not a big deal. No work on their part. At the end of the day, it really comes down to, we're trying to, our business coming in saves you time. And if you do it yourself, you're going to spend a lot more time, at least initially, than you could ever imagine spending on just your bulk orders in a year, typically. And this is not my opinion. This is based on what other dance studio owners have asked me, and I explained the process. And they're like, "Oh, that's what I thought it was." They're like, "Yeah, no, I have no interest in doing that. I don't want to learn that." Right? So, but it's a valid question, right? It's a really valid question.
Yeah,
So,
and to touch on that a little bit more, like the whole reason that we started doing this was to alleviate pressure and especially the bulk order headaches off of people whose time is very valuable since they have so little of it while running the studio, and most of them are also teaching classes and they're doing
right.
so much. So
I was
adding
just gonna
that on
say,
top is just so difficult, you know what I mean?
let me give you a scenario, Kyle. Let me give you a scenario. Okay, you're a dance studio owner. You're just talking to a parent on the phone answering questions about their account. You hang up and you're walking into your class and you're already a minute late, 2 minutes late, and your assistant is warming up the kids. And then you have a parent stop you and start saying, "Hey, my order is messed up on the shirt I ordered. Can you order me a new one and replace it?" But they have to go in and teach a class, but they have to remember to do it and they have to write it down. And then the parent wants to talk to them and then they got to do this and they got to do that and da 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 da. With us, it's there is no questions that go to the owner. The owners don't deal with anything. I have some that do, and they'll relay it to me, and I keep telling them to stop doing that. Have the customers reach right out to us so we can make sure it's taken care of properly, right? So the whole idea is it's completely hands off for the owner. The only thing the studio owner has to do if they do business with us is send us a logo, sign the agreement, and approve the design, right? And then when we run sales, I'll say, "Hey, do you want to run? We're running sales right now on say we did a Mother's Day sale, right? That was very impromptu. Um, I reached out to everyone and said, "Hey, we're doing a Mother's Day sale. We're going to do this kind of a sale. Does anyone want to do one? And if so, do you want to do this? Do you want me to do something different?" Right? I had people say no. I had people say yeah. I had people say, "Oh, can we do this instead?" And it was okay, 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 no problem, right? And got everyone set and going. So it's even though everything is still on a personalized basis, right? It's or overall it's still very personalized um in that way, even when we're approaching things at scale, right? Our team is set up properly so we have the right amount of people to handle all the incoming questions and manage the sales and manage the studios, make sure everything is up to date. Like right now we have a bunch some a bunch of new items that we're dropping, stuff we've never had before, a massive expansion on like our bag line, duffel bags, book bags, all kind, right? That kind of stuff. Massive, massive expansion, right? New lower prices. We have some other really cool stuff, that's coming in that people haven't even seen yet, for us, maybe in the wide world, but not with my dance locker, right?
Yeah.
So, um,
But yeah, and then I think that's also that key point right there, the sales that we run to help people get stuff for cheaper. That's something that the other companies that could or will or are doing what we're doing now, they're not really doing. They're not really putting that level of attention into every single store that they have. You know what I mean? Whereas we
let's,
are constantly updating products and we're doing sales to help and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
right. So let me just touch on that real quick. So, I just want to take a second. We do have competitors out there that do things similar to us, right? We look at it as, I mean, competition is good. Um, I describe it. How do I describe it, Kyle? We have competitors that they each do pieces of what we do,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Like our competition will, we have competitors that'll set up a store for you, right? Really basic store, and you get what you get. You get no branding with the colors and materials to make sure everything lines up with your brand and your logo. You get, there's, I haven't found a competitor out there where you can have multiple logos, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have studios that have we have studios that have multiple color logos, right? For like, they like some on darker designs, some on lighter designs. And we have studios that have multiple logos. They have their rec class logos and they also have their comp team logos. Um, I mean, we have a studio that actually has 5 logos, right? So that it was a lot, but we're using them very specifically, and we had a conversation about how they would like us to sprinkle them in, and then we got everything set up, and then when we went in and tweaked it, it was really not a big deal, and she was over the moon. But that's just kind of like that's how we do things, right? If a client comes to us and says, or a potential client comes and says, we want to do business like this, and I'm like, okay, we're not set up like that. It's always followed with a but. Let's get into this and we'll figure out a solution for you because we custom tailor everything to the studio. We mold around them instead of expecting them to mold around us, which really is the beauty and which really, that's the biggest separator between us and any of our competitors out there.
So you were just talking about the return exchange policies in the last bit, so I figured now would be a good time to dive into that and talk about that.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's super easy, right? Like we do exchanges, we take returns. If somebody has an item that came and it was incorrect for any reason at all, just send us a picture of it. There's instructions on all the sites and stuff. So you just send us a picture and we immediately get another one rushed out to you. No questions asked. You don't have to ship anything back, nothing like that, right? Because the item was damaged in some way or whatever. If you want to exchange it, not a problem. The only time that becomes an issue, because we also do offer personalization on a lot of our merchandise, right? The only time that becomes an issue is if it's personalized. If excuse me, if you put like your daughter's name on it, we can't take that back. We can't do anything with it, right? But like outside of that, the studio, a lot of companies say, well, putting the studio's logo on it is personalizing it. We don't consider that a personalization. Just for the wide world to know, put it on record, that we don't consider that a personalization. Where I know a lot of companies would, because we do, that's our normal customer. We do business with them, right? So we'll work it out and do whatever we have to do. So the only personalizations that really fall under that thing is just like a name. But yeah, we take care of everything immediately. We don't mess around, right? And even if you want to like exchange something or whatever, like it's all a really easy process.
Yeah, no, and yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head there. Do you also want to, since we're kind of in this realm still, do you want to talk about like the pay and reporting features and what we do with all that kind of stuff?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun figuring that out.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, the technicalities behind it. Here's the thing. Like we set it up so everything is automatic. It's automatic reporting. And it's direct deposit. You get paid monthly. I know a lot of companies that do things like this, they pay every 6 months or a year or something like that. We don't mess around. We do, once you can actually change it and go longer if you want to and let the money build up in your account, or you can set a threshold. There's a lot of different options we have set up for you, but in the end, you can have the money will automatically be there, and then you can have it once a month, like however often you want, automatically direct deposit into your account, whether through PayPal or Stripe or, pretty much any option out there you can pick. And then if you don't want any of those options and you want a manual payment, there's still an option to click manual, and we can send your payment to you manually in any way that you like, right? I know some people like Venmo and different things, but Stripe covers pretty much everything. I feel everyone, I think all of our clients are off manual now. Everything's on automatic. So
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's super easy. It took us a long time to figure it all out on the back end, but
it took a long time to make it easy for everybody.
Exactly, make it easy for us and them. Yeah. But we have it ironed out pretty well now. So I feel like that was definitely something that was important to touch on. The next question that we get asked is, do I get my own storefront?
Yeah, everyone gets their own storefront, and it's completely siloed, right? So we have all these stores, but this store A is completely segregated from store B, and there's no cross connectivity, nothing like that. So none of that's an issue at all. Yeah, and you do get your own store. It's just for you. There's no merch mixed in from anything else. The only exception to that is we have like, dance mom stuff, dance dad stuff, dance families. Some studios want it, some studios don't. We have dancer merchandise with some really cool dancer designs. We can filter that in. We have a couple different options for that. One is we can filter them in with no studio logo on it. And then we have an option to filter it in with the studio logo on it. And it's up to the studio. We have a conversation with them, and it's up to them whatever way they want to proceed. But we have a lot of options with a lot of cool designs and merchandise. I mean, I'm a designer. I'm a business person, and by trade, I went back. I've always been an artist. I went back to school. I got my degree in 3D game design and production with a heavy emphasis on all things digital art. So we can do anything you want. Plus, we have an amazing team. So anything that people want, we can do for them.
Yeah, and and like you said, that's a really nice part. Like how everything is individualized, siloed. Like it's super nice. Like you literally have your own storefront. Like there's no crossing anywhere, nothing like that. It's super nice, super easy to navigate. We made sure when we're really setting everything up to make sure that it's easy for your customers, if you're a dance studio owner listening to this, to really be able to navigate the website and find exactly what you're looking for.
Hey, don't let Kyle segregate the rest of the world. It doesn't have to just be dance studios. Remember, we actually relaunched we launched another URL so that we could have all our stores on a separate and under a whole separate URL. So we have mydancelocker.com. That's where everything is placed right now. We're going to have all the stores on mdlstores.com. Mm-hmm. So any non-dance businesses out there that are interested, that's what the URL is mdlstores.com. Mm-hmm. So it could be anything from like a lawnmower business to, I mean, I don't know anyone would buy that shirt, but it could be hypothetical. Who knows? Yeah. That's a bright green or yellow. So I usually, but it's really, it's open for everyone, and we tweaked everything to make it streamlined down so that anybody that wants a store can have one. Like Jane Doe, if she, Kim from down the street or Jane from around the corner, mm-hmm. if they want to build a store with some cutesy stuff, and they want to try to make their own little business, but not do the work because they don't know how and they don't want to learn, they could do it, right? Mm-hmm. Like all these little, all the people out there that are doing all these little side hustles and this and that. This is perfect for that, right? Yeah. Like, I want to do something like this, even if they use it as an initial thing just to see what kind of,
No, yeah, for sure.
See what kind of activity
so
they
I
get.
I think the next point that we should really touch on here is how many products we have in a store, and then also the different store options that we offer to people.
Sure. How many products do we have in a store?
It's a couple hundred maybe. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
I think I was just screwing. I think it's on average. I think it's around 200-ish, like individual products. And then some of those products, you know what I mean? So it's, we have about 1,000 individual products available to us that we can use and implement in one way or another. We usually don't, the biggest store I think we have is like 220 or something like that.
Yeah, we normally kind of keep it shorter and more condensed, just because if we added 1,000 products into a store, that would be a little overwhelming for people.
Yeah, plus most of we tailor these to be industry specific, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, we take every request from anybody. We have dance studios that started requesting shower curtains, and we're like, no problem. What do you need a shower curtain for? But I never thought, like, they used Dream Duffels have the bars that come up, and then you could put a curtain on it, right? Well, they have a thing that you can hang up, like a mini dressing room. So I guess what a lot of studios do is the girls line them up in like a big like U shape, and they hang shower curtains, and then they change behind it when they're at competitions and things like that, and they don't have room, right? So I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. I've been a dance set for 18 years and did not know that was a thing, right? We went to comps all the time, never saw it. So, so that must have been a newer thing after we got out of that piece of the world. Right. But anyways, I mean, it's really, if you want something interesting and cool, let us know. We have these big, massive full stores with like a wide, expansive collection. collections with full menu system and stuff. And then we have stores we have like Infinity Dance, right? Like they're a little boutique store. They have they offer like 7 or 8 really unique products that they can't offer themselves. They have a solution in place for themselves right now. Like they actually they have a dance mom that does everything, and she does like the heat press stuff and all
Hmm.
that. And I'm like, well, I'm not here to I'm not reaching out to try to put a dance to steal money, extra income from a dance mom or a side hustle from somebody. If she's really happy with what they do. So I'm like, why don't you use us to expand on it? The things that she can't do, or more importantly, the things she doesn't want to do anymore, right? Because they're a nightmare to do, like hats and jackets and bags. Can maybe not so much jackets, but hats and bags are a nightmare, right? Anything that needs to be like we do all of our own cut and sew, full sublimation cut and sew, right? We have like blanket hoodies. We have all kinds of crazy stuff that there is no way to make it at home with one of those iron-on things, like fleece merchandise, all that kind of stuff. It's just not possible, right? So she uses us for fill-ins for that kind of stuff, and then periodically we drop a new product, right? So it works really well. Like she's really happy, and we do everywhere in between.
Yeah, and I think that's a nice beauty that we offer is like another thing that we can talk about a little bit, which we mentioned a little bit earlier, is that they get the final say on everything that goes up in the store. And that all kind of ties in together. Like if you don't want it up, we won't put it up. If you want something that maybe we don't have up for you, you just ask us, and we'll do whatever we can to try. If we don't have it, we'll try and find it for you. It's super nice, super easy, super copacetic between our partnership.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing I really want to get out there about this whole process, right? We have dance studio owners, we have business owners that come to us that have a very clear direction of what they want, right? Very clear, very concise. Colors, this, that, right down to the T. And we're like, okay, no problem. And we make that happen. And I have a couple questions I ask people just to kind of we ask some general information questions to give us a starting point, and then we go from there. And we say, okay, now look at this. Instead of imagine it, now we say, okay, give me a start. We get a good starting point. We build some stuff, build a base store. We say, what do you think? Do you like the colors? Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like the overall feel, the vibe? Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go and finish. What would you like us to add? What would you like us to take away? And then we continue on, right? If we need to change something drastically, we do. I mean, we've wiped out complete stores and started from scratch before. Like that's not a big deal, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it really comes down to it needs to be right, or why do it? It doesn't make sense for you, not you, Kyle, but it doesn't make sense for you as the
Yeah,
business owner to do it if it's not right. And we want it to be your vision of what you think right is, right? With our guidance on, okay, this is actually incorrect or not. We can or can't actually do this. Nobody can, right? We've had a couple odd requests. But at the end of the day, it really just comes down to making everything smooth, and seamless and make the transition really easy for the dance studio owner. Um, I mean,
yeah. I mean that's pretty much it. Like it's just simple, easy transition for not studio owners, business owners, anyone. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. Is to make their lives easier. I know we keep going back around to that, but that's really why we're doing this. It's
yep.
just to make small business owners' lives.
We want to make their lives this.
Yeah.
My favorite cup. Life
All
is
right.
good.
So we have a few more questions here.
Okay.
Um, Another one that we get asked a lot is, can I have more than one logo per store? And we touched on that a little bit, but I
Mhm.
figured there'd be a good chance to go
Yeah,
in detail about that.
100%. It really comes, the answer is yes, right? Um, we have studios with one logo, like I said. We have studios with multiple logos. We have a studio. They have competition team, right? They have their rec logo and they have their comp. Their comp team consists of older kids we'll just say we'll just generally cut them up, even though it's very different. Like high schoolers, older elementary, like fifth and sixth grade through whatever, like eighth grade. That's another subgroup. And then there's the younger kids, like the minis and stuff like that. All three of them have different logos. They all have different names and logos, right? So we designed a whole line for each logo, for each little group. And they had variations in colors. A couple of them did. You know what I mean? So it gets complex and complicated, but on our end, we have everything easy and streamlined, right? So for us, if you have one logo or 5 logos, it doesn't matter, right? If it's relevant and should be there, then it's going to be there, right? So it's really, I don't want to say ask and you will receive, but it's kind of like, we're kind of like that, right? Like, a lot of people ask and we're able to give them what they're asking for because we already have a solution in place. But if we don't, then we'll just make.
Yeah, we're also very flexible and we're always open to something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's something that we should definitely talk about. Like we're very flexible. We're willing to try new things. I mean, that's a lot of the stuff that we have today is because we went out and tried new things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's super important to us, and trying to make sure we're always top of the line for our customers is one of our biggest concerns every day when we wake up in the morning to start working.
1,000%.
So you touched on personalization a little bit, but another thing that we offer is embroidery. And so we should touch on the two things a little bit and talk about them.
Yeah, personalization is really cool. Obviously, a lot of people like it. Most companies charge for it. We do not. Anything that we have that we can personalize, it's an option for, right? People can do one or the other, and that's just how we do it, and that's how we're always going to do it, right? When it comes to embroidery, like embroidery, for example, there's no personalization options with embroidery. It's a very different process. Obviously, embroidery is it's more expensive. Not a ton more expensive. Anything, and I think this is an important distinction to make too. I just want to throw this out there, right? Anything that you see on a store, on any store through our company, if it has embroidery, we can print it also, and it would be less money with it printed instead of embroidery, right? Just because it's printed doesn't mean we can embroider on it though. That's the distinction, right? Same thing with like personalization, right?
And and that'll all be marked as we make sure to put anything that's personalizable. It has personalized in the title of the product, and if it's something that can be embroidered, it also has embroidered. I figured that was also not nice, so that way you can see it when you're reading the product. When you don't have to only look at the product and be like, I think that's embroidered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And 100%. And we have a couple options with embroidery, which is really nice. I want to talk about just real quick. Because you could do one color, like white, black, blue, whatever, but we could do multiple colors, right? There's a lot of people have logos now with 4, 5, 6 different colors. We have some that have, what do they call it? Ombre, right? But it's a gradient, but they call it ombre. So, at the end of the day, we can do that with stitching now, whereas before we couldn't. And there's other options like the real big puffy letters or just regular embroidery. There's all different types of things. So, all these different options, all come with a heavier price tag the further up the line you go. But some companies, they like it. They're really into it. Most of our businesses only do basic embroidery with either one color or like a whole bunch of colors. But I guess my point is there's a lot of options out there for it. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I guess the last question, we don't really ask this a lot because it's the first episode of the podcast, but I think we should touch on why we're doing the podcast in the first place. You know what I mean? I know we started off a little bit in the beginning, but I think it's a good ending point to all these asked questions. I'm sure we will be getting asked this question very soon, but so yeah, touch on why we're doing the podcast a little bit.
I have no idea. Kyle's making me do it. I'm just like, I'm here. I'm like, okay. No, really though, it's, I'm a business person through and through, and I just I want to get this is not just about our business, right? This is about business as a whole. I really want to do this podcast to just get information out about not just how we do business, how we approach things, how we think about things, as much as that's true. We're building a community, right? Of business to business people on our business side. And we're building a community of customers on, on the very back end of that, right? So, we have a community that's built for we have a community that's built for our customers or the customers of our clients, say, that we share. But I also want to build a community for business people. And I don't care if they're my customers only or not, right? Because there's a lot that everybody has a lot to offer. So I am, I'm not shy. I'm very talkative. And I'm a big outside the box thinker, right? I want to try to get as many business people communicating with our platform and our groups of people as possible, so they get a different view. I'm really trying to. What was that thing? How about this? What was that claim on the beginning? Hashtag small business revolution. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember I said that? Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about this, right? So any form of anything we could do to really push that out, I don't have to. Here's the deal. I don't have to make money if I'm empowering a small business or any size business to do something bigger or think outside the box or push themselves a little bit further to put themselves in a better position, whatever that looks like for them. It's not always money, by the way. Whatever puts them there, right? If they get a little bit of that from me or even a spark from me, dude, that's amazing. Or from us or from somebody that's on our podcast or something like that. I really want to create this environment where we can bring people on that are like-minded but think differently about this stuff, so we can really talk and communicate. I want to, we're going to have small business owners on from all different niches, other business people higher above. It's going to be a lot of like tips and tricks and talking about business as a whole. This is going to it could potentially go all over the place, but at the end of the day, my goal is to get as much really good, relevant content together that's directed for business owners of all sizes, but primarily small to medium sized businesses. Because if you look at businesses like the food chain, right, the small businesses get nothing. The medium sized businesses barely get anything, right? You got to be a big dog in the medium sized business to really have any kind of foothold in corporate America and be able to make it so you can really maximize on your business on your profitability for your business that you have, right? So you shouldn't have to be, 10 million, 15, $20 million a year to be able to make something happen that's going to make your life easier, right? So, and be able to make more money on it. And that's I feel like, I realize this is generalizing, but that's I feel my opinion of what the landscape looks like right now, and it needs to be changed. And I'm like, dude, anyone that wants to come on board, let's get this thing going. Let's get it. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go change the world.
Yeah. Let's start that small business revolution, huh?
Yeah, dude, small business. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Small business revolution, dude. Small businesses. How about this? Everyone talks about the 1%er, right? Like, let's get real, me and you. Forget let's get real. People always go, 1%ers, right? If they're 1%ers, that means that a very small percentage of people on the planet own large businesses. Correct?
Yeah. Correct.
Small businesses far outweigh by like a millionfold how many large businesses there are. When you look at them, the big businesses hold all the power. Small businesses have the number.
Yeah.
Right? So when a revolution happens, all the people that are being suppressed and pushed down, they realize one day they have the numbers and they're like, let's take this thing over. I realize we have the numbers and I'm saying, let's take this thing over because I'm tired of being crapped on by corporate America. Right? Small businesses should get tired of getting crapped on by corporate America.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Dude, I've tested it out. Like I call them like, hey, this is how big our business is, blah, 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 blah. How much would you charge us for this thing for this type of a plan? And then I call the small business and with the same type of thing, and the reactions I get, how people communicate with me, the way they talk to me is wildly different. And I'm talking about at the same company with a different, just different people, but at the same company. And it's not even that particular person. Like I went super deep with this because I got frustrated. And it's just when they talk to me as a small business owner, like forget about it. When they know who I actually am, they're like, oh, we want you. Come on, be our best friend. I'm like, no, dude. When I call a business to do business with them, I call them as a small business, a very small business, like I'm a dance studio or something that size, right? Like, right? And get their feel, and I feel them out that way. If they don't treat me properly, then I don't ever talk to them again.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a company I'm dealing with isn't willing to treat small businesses with the respect that they deserve and treat them appropriately, then I'm not going to do business with them either. Because that is the number one thing. Like that's a huge thing for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So screw it, man. Let's get it. Hashtag small business revolution.
For sure, man. I'm with you.
I gotta go. I got a meeting.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you
out.
for listening to the first episode of the podcast. Make sure to follow all of our socials. They're all linked. My Dance Locker on everything. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Wait, hit us up. Give me a call, text, email, mydancelocker.com. Shoot me a text. Blow my phone up, America. 716-201-0230. Hit me up. Text me, call me, whatever. Let's get it.
See you guys later.